Coming to you live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, and all across the world, psychic, medium, and energetic healer Sheena Metal brings you messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network.
Hi, and welcome to Messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network. I'm your host, Sheena Metal. I'm a psychic medium. I'm an energetic healer, and I'm a real psychic. And all throughout the day, I get messages from Spirit. So on this show, every week, every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, I'm going to be talking to real people. We're going to be having real conversations. I'm going to be providing real guidance from the universe, and hopefully bring some real answers and some real healing to those in need. And that's what we're doing here every week. If you're looking for more information about me, I'm at sheenametalspiritual.com, and find us everywhere on the Intuitive Network, all of the streaming apps. Download the app, and we're here every week. A little bit about what Messages from Spirit means, because this is our first show, and welcome to our first show. So when I say spirit, that's the word that I use for God, the universe, great spirit, goddess, higher power, source. I like all those terms. And it's been my experience that spirit will answer to any of those terms. God always says, it doesn't matter what you call me, just call me. So I like that term because when I tap into the energy to receive messages from Spirit, for me, it feels like a collective energy of light that I tap into. So I refer to Spirit as they and them, because to me, it's a multiple intelligence energy. And so that's the term I use. So when you hear me talk about channeling from Spirit, you know, I'm not talking about like the spirit of my mom or the spirit of my Uncle Bob. I'm talking about actual spirit source energy. I've been tapping in my whole life. My mom was also a psychic medium. And for me, it's as easy and natural as anything else. It's like picking up the phone and calling a friend. And I feel like I'm here on the earth to help provide messages and to help to heal people, whether it's one person at a time or all of you watching right now. And this is the important thing when you watch a show like this. So what you're going to see throughout the hour is me delivering messages from Spirit to people. But the important thing to remember is that there can sometimes be a message for you in a message for someone else. And that's the beautiful thing about how Spirit works, that somebody could be calling in and asking a question about their life, and you're watching and you think, wait a minute, that's a question I would ask about my life. And it applies to you too, and that's okay. Because when Spirit delivers messages, it's not just for one, it's for all. And that's kind of the beautiful thing, I think, about what I do. And I'm so excited to be here. So I want to get right to real people and answering real questions and delivering real answers and having some real conversations and doing some real healings. So let's now start to deliver some messages from Spirit. I'm so glad you're all here, and I'd love to have you listening, watching, every one of you on the show someday with me. And the contact info will be at the end of the show. So let's do some messages from Spirit. I'm excited. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Who are you? Who are you? Where are you from?
My name is Cindy Miller. I am from Temple, Texas, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. Welcome to the show. You're the first guest on the first show. There'll only ever be you. Isn't that exciting?
Woo!
So what's your question for me today, sweetie?
My question is, well, it relates to the fact that I've learned through you that I am an empath, and I've taken your webinars, which have helped immensely. And I would recommend any other empaths should take those too. Also, I would like to know, what are my other gifts and where should I go next to learn more?
Okay, well, that's a great question, Cindy. And so people who've worked with me know that if you are an empath, and a great majority of people with spiritual gifts are, not everybody, but some, it's super important that the first thing that you do is you learn to control your empathy, because as an empath, you're taking in so many messages. You know, I always say a normal person takes in energetic messages through the size of a straw, and with an empath, it's the size of a drain pipe. So if you don't learn to control your empathy first, then when you start doing spiritual work and you have ghosts coming in and you have energetic feelings of other people coming in, and you're getting messages about the future, and you're getting messages about people's past lives, and angels are coming, it becomes too much. So what you did, Cindy, is exactly perfect. You identify your empathic gifts and you learn to protect yourself so you're not going to be overloaded when the spiritual gifts come in. For you, you also have a tremendous gift of intuition. You're an intuitive, which means that you get hunches all the time. You get feelings about things, and you get impressions of things. And so the thing you should be doing now is to start keeping track of, I suggest journaling. I'm a big fan of journaling. Write down all the feelings that you're getting about things, whether they're predictive, whether they're about people, whether they're about your life, and then write down the things that actually are true, that come true, so that you can validate to you that you are really getting these feelings, and learn to control your intuition, so that you can't control the messages that come in, but you can control how you process them and how you deliver them to others. And I think people think that being an intuitive is like a step down from being a psychic medium. Look, when I first started out, I identified solely as an empath and an intuitive. And people who know me in my own life, that's how I identify personally. I think those are the two greatest spiritual gifts there are. So just start thinking about that. Start keeping track of how much information is coming into you and how much of it is turning out to be true. Because it's so important for people with spiritual gifts to validate every step of the way. Because it's easy to get discouraged and think it's all in my head. I'm making it up. It's not really happening for me. Does that make sense? I mean, are those things that you've had, those doubts and those worries?
Very much. And there's been things that I have felt and they actually did come to be before. I even, I've saved my family's life when I was a kid once because of an intuition.
So start keeping track of those. So you are an intuitive and you kind of knew that. So you didn't, but
in a way I did, I guess.
So start keeping track of those and start validating. And the more you validate, the bolder you'll become and the more comfortable you'll feel using your gifts. And then another gift will come and another gift will come. But Spirit's telling me this is the next one now. Empathy first, second, the intuition. And then more and more. Just be prepared for more to come. Thank you for being here with me. It was an honor to have you here.
And please tell Spirit to tell my mom hi, because June's the anniversary of when she passed.
I will. Absolutely, sweetheart.
Thank
you. From Mom.
All right.
Hi to Mom. Bye. And hi from Mom. Thank you, Cindy. Mm-hmm. So what Cindy's talking about is very common with all of us. And I just want to say really quick, there's a difference between having intuition and being an intuitive. All of us as human beings have intuition, and we should always be tapping into that, because Spirit is giving each of us messages through intuition. But there's also being an intuitive, and that's when your intuition is just off the hook, and right and left you're being able to tell things about people, and about situations, and about animals, and about the future. And that's all a gift. And I always say, like, everybody can run, but not everybody can be in the Olympics. And that's the difference between having intuition and being an intuitive. In the same way, it's the difference between having empathy and being an empath. So I hope that helps you, if you're home watching, understand the difference, because it's important to know. All right, I'm ready for somebody else. Let's get some messages from Spirit. I'm so excited. Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm Claire from New Jersey, and I'm very happy to be here. It's exciting. I didn't think the setup would be so great. It's like I could see everything, hear everything. It's very exciting.
I'm so glad. Welcome. Thank you.
And I have a question regarding my relationship with Tom.
Okay.
As predicted, I did hear from him twice this week. It's a little stilted, but it seems to be going better. And I would like to know when I'd see him again, please.
Absolutely, and welcome, and thank you for the kind words.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the thing about Tom. Tom is he's kind of a man's man in a way, and he doesn't always seem like that, but there's a very traditional side to him, and he likes to be the chaser. Now, you're a very assertive, gregarious chick from New Jersey. I'm also a tri-state girl, New Haven, Connecticut represent. So
He's a New York guy, so
right. So I understand what it's like to have that that assertiveness. But when he goes away to think and ponder and contemplate, or he's not feeling well, I know he's had some health problems. He wants to come back in his own time, and he wants to be the pursuer. He wants to be the one that sends the text. Not that you can't ever text him, but he wants to be the one that sends the text, and it's his idea for the date, and it's his idea for when you get together. And that's just something that's going to happen until he gets comfortable in the relationship. And then that won't be such a big deal in his life, because he's such a nice guy. A lot of women have sort of rode roughshod over him, and that's become like a real triggery thing for him. So
I can see that. I agree.
So he just he wants to be the guy that shows up at the door and courts you, and it's very 1800s Jane Austen. Let him be that guy. That's totally okay. So I think it's great you're in contact. It's great you heard from him. Look to the second week in July, and that's when you guys will have another date. And remember, when you're with him, sometimes be a little soft and let him take over a little bit. It's okay to do that, and it doesn't mean you have to change who you are, sweetheart. It just means that sometimes when you're first trying to figure out a relationship with somebody, everybody sort of has to acquiesce a little bit to everybody else and figure out where people's comfort zones are. And as I said, this is something temporary that will happen until he feels comfortable with you. And then he won't always have the guard up, and he always won't want to worry. He's a very free-spirited, independent man, right? He likes to do a lot of things by himself.
Yes.
And in the past, he's been in situations where women have not allowed him to do that. Like, he can't just, take off on his bike for a week or spend a weekend with his daughter, because it always has to be, well, where are you going and why are you there and what's that? And I saw that on Facebook. So he's built up sort of a nervousness about those behaviors. So just let him take the lead for a while, sweetie, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I've done those things that you just mentioned, like, or Facebook, and I guess that's been my mistakes, but he's not always very open. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, you're a tri-state girl, right? Hey, where are you? Like, where, you know what I mean? Naturally.
Yeah, but he's like that too. I mean, I think that's just the nature of our personalities over here. So
I like that. And he is, like I said, he loves that about you, that you're so bold and you're so strong. The only place that it gets weird is when he feels sort of pressed against the wall, for lack of a better term. He gets a little nervous that he's going to lose control of his sort of manly man self. And that's okay. It's okay for guys to want to be guys sometimes. It's totally okay.
Yeah, he hasn't mentioned getting together. I see him, we're still Facebook friends, so I see him liking a lot of interesting things to do, and I'm hoping he asks me to do some of them. So
yeah, I think he will, because he is really a fun-loving, adventurous person, and you really need that. And he's strong enough to handle you, and you need that too. So you're in good shape, my friend. Let me know how it goes the second week in July. Take care, Claire. Thanks for being here.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And look, when I talk about relationships, I'm not claiming that you need to allow someone to take advantage of you. You always have to walk on eggshells with somebody, because obviously that's not right. But when you first get involved with somebody, you guys got to figure out where your comfort zones are until you really sort of get into it and get comfortable with each other. So good luck, Claire. That's awesome. All right, we're ready to go. Who wants a message from Spirit?
Hi, Sheena. It's Dawn. How are you?
Hi, Dawn. I'm good. How are you? Where are you from, my friend?
I'm in Stratford, Ontario, up in Canada.
Wow, awesome. You're my very first Canadian that's been on the show.
Well,
Nobody
it's
can
an
ever
honor.
take that away from you.
It's an honor.
What's your question for me today, sweetie?
I'm just curious if Spirit has a message. I've been smelling my grandma's powder a lot lately. And yeah, I'm just wondering if you're getting anything.
Yeah, I mean, she's been around a lot. Sometimes she feels like you don't acknowledge that she's there. And when she's feeling like she's wandering around like, hey, I'm here, I'm in the house, hello, hello, that's
Okay.
when suddenly you smell the perfume or you smell something that she loved to cook.
It's been the coffee. I keep smelling her
Right.
coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
Her coffee that isn't even your coffee.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her coffee, her perfume. When that happens, what she really wants is for you to instantly, Dawn, say, oh, hi, Grandma. I love you. I miss you. I'm glad you're here.
Absolutely can do that.
It's so
I'd
funny
be happy to do that.
because so many people, Dawn, talk to me about wanting messages from spirits, not spirit, God energy like I channel, but spirits of past loved ones. When they come to me in a session and I tap into the past loved ones, oftentimes they're like, I've been around the whole time and they don't notice me. So they sometimes want to contact us way more than we want to contact them. The difference is they can see and feel everything that we're doing. They can tap into where we are, but we can't do that. So they always know where we are. We don't always know they're in the house. And then that's when they send us the perfume smell, the chocolate chip cookies, the butterflies, the hummingbirds. And we have to instantly acknowledge them because that's what they want, right? Oh, Grandma.
It sounds good. I'll do that immediately for sure.
And she would also like you, Dawn, to go into the kitchen.
Okay.
Make the coffee that you like.
Yep.
And sit down at the table and have a conversation with her.
Oh.
And this is the trick. And this kind of goes back to what I talked to Cindy about earlier in the hour about trusting your instincts.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens. When that happens and you hear her reply, you can't do that thing humans do where you say, oh, it was all in my head. I made that up. No, you have to believe that she's giving you answers. And if you listen with your third eye, right? Third eye is how we receive spirit messages. It's how we connect to spirit. If you feel that kind of warmth inside of you, you'll actually hear in your head her distinct voice. But you can't allow yourself to come in and say, no, that's just a bunch of load of crap, because it's not. That's the thing. We push them away by refusing to believe in the messages we're receiving from them.
And that makes sense because I know I heard my dad just yesterday. So I'll heed his words that I heard yesterday for sure.
That's awesome. See, that's fantastic. You are wonderful. And I'm so glad. And she just wants to have a conversation with you. She wants you to know that everything you're going through right now, it's going to be okay.
Okay.
That's the big message for you. And she thinks that bringing the coffee, bringing the perfume, because to her, those were smells of comfort. So she thinks by bringing those smells to you, it's providing comfort to you.
Absolutely,
and,
it has.
Making you feel comforted in your own life. Because that's what she really is saying to me over and over again. She's saying, I'm just here to help her through this period. And I want her to know that everything she's going through right now is going to be okay.
Aw, okay.
And I take it you know what that means.
I do. Yep. I get it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, sweetheart, for being here.
Thank you, Sheena, so much.
Thank you, Dawn.
Bye.
What a great example of our first mediumship reading on the show, right? Our loved ones want us to know that they're okay, and they just want us to be okay. That is the most important thing. They're okay, and they want us to be okay. Because it's easier there than it is here. That's also what they want us to know, and what I need for all of you to know. All right. Who wants a message from Spirit? Hi.
Hey, Sheena, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Good to see you.
Who are you, and where are you coming in from?
Lisa, South Carolina.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. It's beautiful to see you, and I'm
You
so glad
too.
you're on the show with us.
Thank you.
What question do you have for me today, honey?
Love has been challenging. Today's relationship day, it seems. Will love always be this challenging for me, or is this kind of my time around the sun to learn something poignant about relying on myself, being independent, etc.?
Yeah, that's beautiful points. The message that Spirit is giving me, sweetie, is it's not that love is difficult for you at this time. It's that kind of everything is difficult for you at this time.
Very true. Okay.
Not to be too cryptic.
Yeah.
When we go through a phase of transition, which is
Mhm.
really a shift, right? It's a shift into the next thing. It's a good thing. When you're a junior in high school, the end of the year is very tough. Tests, finals. Once you pass all that stuff, you shift into the next grade.
Right.
That's kind of how we go through those shifts from life to life. And during each lifetime, we go through those shifts on this earth. It's so important that you think of it as that. It's a difficult time that then is moving you into a better time and higher consciousness. When we're in the middle of a shift like that, sweetheart, we often do not get relationships. And if we do, sometimes they're the wrong ones. So be really careful during this time, because you got a lot of things in your life that you need to sort of remodel your life, like you'd remodel a home, and shift into this next phase of where you really want to be. And it's family stuff, it's work stuff, it's home life stuff, it's you stuff, it's spiritual path and life path, you stuff. When you shift into this next place and you settle down a little bit and life settles down a little bit, then Spirit will bring love to you. But the truth is, now somebody would be coming into chaos, because there's some chaos, right?
There's always chaos in my life. I feel like it seems to go hand in hand. Yeah.
And the problem is when you ask love to come in during chaos, oftentimes a chaotic love comes, chaotic person who brings a chaotic relationship with them.
Yeah.
And you don't need any more chaos or any more topsy-turvy home tornado crazy. You've got enough of that. Right. So just ride through the shift with grace. Okay. Know that a place of calm is coming after the storm. Okay. And when that happens, then Spirit's going to bring you somebody totally groovy.
Okay. Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Good to see you. Take good care.
Wonderful to see you. I know that's a hard message that I gave Lisa, and I know we all want to hear that. And some of you at home are probably like, cringing, right? I don't want to hear that. I get it. I don't want to hear that in my own life. But the truth is, when we're in a place of chaos, it's not a good time to call a relationship in. And I bet if you look back over your life right now and you think about the various bumps in the road of crazy, chaotic relationships that you've had, you will realize that when it's gotten crazy was when you were already feeling crazy, and then you called something in. That's why sometimes when people contact me and clients and they ask me, when is the relationship going to come in? Spirit will say, not for a month, not for 6 months, not for a year, not for 3 years. In the meantime, you work on you, because Spirit is always wanting us to work on ourselves, because that's how we get ourselves ready for the relationship to come. I hope that makes sense. All right, I'm ready for a message from Spirit.
Hi, Sheena. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you? Who are you, and where are you from?
I'm Heather. I'm from Allen, Texas.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And my question is, do I have any gifts, and would Spirit like me to use them?
Oh, well, when you have gifts, Heather, Spirit always wants you to use them, because that's why you got them, right? Gifts are given to be used. You do. You're a very, very, very super empath.
Yeah.
And I see that that's led to some problems in your life.
It definitely has.
With people, and that you are just at a place in your life now, Heather, when you are starting to learn how to deal with your empathy and how to move out of situations that don't serve you emotionally
Yeah.
when you're dealing with somebody who's bringing in too much that you can't handle. You're learning that you're not here to carry the load of everybody's emotions and everybody's woe and everybody's anxiety, and you're learning to find some time for you. Is that correct?
Yes, most definitely. I was kind of raised as to people please and kind of take on the other people's burdens. So now it totally makes sense because I've always been like the too sensitive one, or just called extra sensitive all the time, and everybody just doesn't understand, like, I just feel stuff really deeply. It's not that I'm too sensitive. So that makes a lot of sense. But I really want to do it, like help others with my gift, and I don't know how to like get that started.
Well, I think the most important thing is you fortify your gifts with you,
Mm-hmm.
and you fortify your relationship with spirit. Now, when I say that, Heather, I guess you have to understand, and everybody who's watching, that we all have a relationship with spirit. Every one of us has a relationship with our higher power. It's not like only super special psychic people talk to God. We all should be in conversation with spirit all the time about our path. But in order to start to do that for other people, to take on not just our own spiritual path and burden, but to help others with theirs, we need to make sure that we really fortify ourselves. I know this isn't always the case, but I'll give an example. A therapist, a psychologist should really have their own sort of poop in a group, for lack of a better term, in order to then take on other people's problems all day long.
Mm-hmm.
When you take this job on, you're doing the same thing. I think a lot of people, and let me say that for some psychics, it's really just about, I go and work this party. People ask me what's going to happen in the future. I make predictions. I take my paycheck and I pack up my crystal ball and I go home. But I can feel you. And I know the kind of work that you want to do goes beyond that. You want to really get to the root of helping
Yes.
people in every way possible. And in order to do that, it's like being a counselor or a therapist or a minister. You are taking on people's problems every single day. And you have to be secure enough in yourself to be able to do that, And also, and this is nothing that I feel off of you, but for others that are interested in doing this, you have to have your ego in check, because people do treat you like you're really something special. And for some folks who get into this and they haven't dealt with their own ego issues, it becomes a bit of a power rush. And then things start to get a little crazy and it becomes not about helping people. And, so there's two different kinds of people that go down this road. Folks that are looking to be famous and they have to worry about the ego matters. And then folks that are looking just to help people, and they have to worry about taking on so much that they themselves get destroyed under the weight of what people they're helping or clients are bringing to them,
Okay.
So you need to get super strong with you right now. Keep getting strong. Keep getting in touch with your empathy. Keep
You've just inspired me so much, just with like the energy healing, and just, I don't know, I've gone through so much trauma in my life, and I want to make people feel the way that you make people feel, like by releasing energy. And so I'll try not to cry. Sorry.
No, I'm trying not to cry too. I'm Irish. I can only take so much and I start to cry.
Yeah.
Well, that's and I want to cry because that's exactly why I'm here. And it's exactly why I do what I do. And you can't get caught up in what other people are doing and what their motives are.
Right.
If you go to work,
and I'm
a
learning
psychic event, and you sit next to somebody who's only talking about getting on TV, you can't allow yourself to get upset, because you have to remember, spirit will throw to you the people you're here to help.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to just concentrate on those people and not get tripped out on what everybody else is doing or who you're not helping. Spirit will throw you the right people that you're supposed to touch. Does that make sense?
Yes. So like even if they're just like toxic or they have like a lot of like issues, like I don't.
If you feel like you can handle them, but that's why
Okay.
you need to fortify yourself first so you
Right.
can take on that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you for
Yes.
being
Thank
here.
you so much, Sheena.
Thank you for the sweet words. I appreciate it, honey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what Heather was saying is true. When you take on this work, you're taking on people who are having problems. They've got issues, and you have to make sure you're ready for that. And different people will take on different levels of that. I'll take the most difficult of the most difficult. Other friends of mine that are psychics throw me the clients they can't handle, and I will take them. Sometimes I face palm and wonder why I'm doing it, but that's my mission. That's what Spirit has told me. You take everyone, you take everybody. That's my job. But it's not for everybody. You can decide who you want to work with, and you can decide how much you want to take on, and not just becoming a professional psychic, but also just in your everyday life. If you're somebody that helps all of your friends, you decide how much you can take on. And don't take on more than you can handle, because then you start to get drained. Okay. All right. Who wants a message from Spirit? Great call, Heather.
Hey, Sheena, this is Stephen from Veneta, Oklahoma.
Oh, Stephen, where are you from? You cut out a little bit.
From Veneta, Oklahoma.
Nice. Nice. What's your question for me today?
My question is, when do you see Katrina finally reaching out?
First, I want to say you're the first guy that's ever been on this show, and nobody can take that away from you. You will always be the first guy. And I like to see that men go to psychics. I love that story. You know, Katrina's in a bit of a pickle, and I'll tell you why. She made this big decision to leave this relationship because she was unhappy with her life and herself, and it got blamed on the relationship. The problem is that now she's out and she's not sure how to get back in. And I know the normal answer would be, well, I'm Steven and I love her, so I'll come and I'll just contact her. But when somebody has done something like that emotionally and made that big decision, this is my decision I'm making for me, because in my whole life, I've never done anything to take my power back. So this is the thing that I'm doing. Okay. And good. She needed to show that she had the power, that she had the ability to go out on her own and be on her own. And we have to respect that decision for her. But now she's not quite sure how to reverse that. So it's going to take her a little bit of time. I mean, I think it's taken longer than you've expected, longer even than Spirit has expected, because people have free will, right? We can't make people do anything. But I would say that it is probably going to take until probably around August.
Okay.
Maybe middle of August, until she, I don't want to say gets the guts to come back, because it's not really that. It's that she's trying to find a way, Stephen, to come back and retain her personal power that she feels like she has regained. She doesn't want to come back and feel like she sacrificed herself again, like, oh, I'm losing all my power again. You know, some people, when they're not really secure within themselves, sometimes they get kind of, it's a button pushy, triggery thing for them, surrendering into a relationship with somebody else. They feel like they're giving up all their stuff. Now, I'm a person who's secure within myself. When I get into a relationship with somebody, I feel like I'm bringing my strength and they're bringing their strength, and it's like 1 + 1 = 10. But for people who are always worried that their power is going to be taken away, they get nervous that they're going to lose themselves in a relationship. And I feel that from Katrina, and you can verify this for me, that she had a lot of self-worth and kind of self ego issues, where she was kind of insecure about herself and didn't really understand her value.
Yes, she did a lot, quite a bit, actually.
So she kind of relied on you to sort of help fill in that part for her emotionally.
Oh yeah, pretty much. When I told her, no matter if I told her, she's beautiful, whatever, she's like, no, stop that. That's not right, or you're lying
Yeah.
to me, or she has a lot of insecurities.
Yeah, right. So, and then she started to feel like she had totally lost herself in the relationship because you're a stronger personality.
Yeah.
And that's when she started to feel like she was drowning. So now she's now proved to herself that she can be out on her own and not dissipate to a million energetic particles. She's still here.
Yeah.
Now she just needs to understand that it's okay to come back and not lose herself and that good work that she's done on herself. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
So look for August, my friend, and keep
All right.
the faith.
Thank you, Sheena.
You guys have a very strong soul tie. Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
What Heather said earlier that I touched on a bit with Stephen too, I think, is the idea of making sure you're healthy and you're cleansed. I really suggest people booking energetic cleanses with a spiritual practitioner. It's always a good idea to get some energetic healing. I always suggest, if people are for it, to see a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. More a therapist or psychologist, because you want to do the talk therapy where you talk through things. There's nothing wrong with taking the time to put into yourself to fortify you. Because especially in a relationship, whether it's a family relationship, friends, work, lovers, you're going to be a better person in that relationship with someone else if you're a better person in general. If you are healthier and stronger and more connected and more secure, then you're going to be a better asset to somebody in a relationship. So do all the work you can on you. It's really important. Good call. Our first guy, I'm very excited. All right, because I'm surrounded by guys, the Intuitive Network, President Michael, my producer Adam, my engineer Emery. I'm the only girl on this team, but all girls calling in. So it's interesting and fun to have a guy interested in a psychic. All right, let's get a message from Spirit. I'm excited.
Hi. My name's Christy. I'm calling in from Romney, West Virginia.
Hi, Christy. It's great to have you here. What's your question for me today?
I'm excited to be here. So I have been depressed for quite some time, and I'm making some big changes in my life. And I really just want things to be good for me and my son. I want happiness and joy, and I'm sick of sadness, and I'm at a standstill right now. I'm kind of lost. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know my soul's purpose, and I don't know how to find it. And I feel like I don't have like the spiritual connection that I'm supposed to have, if that makes sense. And I guess my question is, how do I get there, or what is, my soul's purpose?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, when you first said you were depressed, the first thing that Spirit said to me was that you were worried that you weren't going to be enough for your family. And I guess that means your son. It's hard when you have responsibilities and you have to take care of somebody else and you're struggling yourself. And I understand that even though you're doing everything you can to not let him see how you're feeling, still you're worried that there's some of that depression that's almost leaking off of you and onto him just because it's around. So know that you've been doing a really good job of hiding it. That's from him. Also know that sometimes we feel depressed during a period of transition, because everything starts to feel like the ground is crumbling underneath us, like nothing makes sense anymore. I see that you have grown beyond a lot of the people around you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you've lost a lot of people in your life, because not lost them like they've gone away. I mean, some, but I don't mean that. But I mean, the connection feels like it's waned.
Yeah.
Because you've grown spiritually in a direction where a lot of people in your life haven't followed. So you almost sort of feel like you've lost your tribe in a way. Like you need a new tribe that's where you're at right now. And that's brought like a huge feeling of loneliness with it.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the depression is just feeling like isolated, right? You sort of feel like nobody gets you. Like you don't know where to go where somebody gets you. And that adds to the depression as well. That feeling of not belonging. So it's really important right now. Spirit is saying that you throw yourself full bore into walking your spiritual path and growing your spiritual self, and then going out into the real world, the earthbound world. Is that the real world? Because I kind of think the spirit world is the real world. This is the matrix.
I wonder.
Going out into the real world and real world and finding people that sing your song, finding your people and building a tribe of people. You can still love all your people from before, but you need to find people who really understand where you're at spiritually.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Because you need that uplift. You need those angels' wings, so to speak, human angels to lift you up. You need people you can call in 3 a.m. and say, I'm feeling this way. And they can say, oh my God, me too. My empathy's off the hook. You know what I mean? So you don't feel like you're in this together. Your soul's purpose is to help people. To take all of that love and all of that nurturing ability and all of that genuine warmth that comes out of you that you give to your son every day and give it to people around you. I mean, you do that in your life anyhow, but I mean, to get to the point where your career, so to speak, your service, your passion and your service become making people feel good. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, because I think that when that happens, that's what makes me feel the best too. And that hasn't happened in a while. And I think like that's what, that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm like, okay, I need to heal. I need to do some healing work for me to get there. But it's like, once I'm there, then what, and I think that's true. I forget, I think it was Heather that was on a little bit ago, like, to be able to share, happiness and healing with somebody else would be amazing, to take away somebody's pain by helping them along, not necessarily just carrying it on my shoulders,
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do tonight? And I just got this idea. I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to create a group for everyone who's been a guest on this show.
That would be awesome.
All of you can learn.
And then all of us we could find our tribe. Maybe somebody's,
Find your virtual tribe. I'm going to do that over the weekend.
That would be awesome.
I'm going to create that group. It's only going to be for people who've been guests on the show.
That would be super cool.
Because I think it's so important that you find your people, and everything becomes different once you find your tribe. And that's all you're lacking, sweetie. You're just lacking some tribe. You're just, and then when you find your people and you become less depressed, less anxiety ridden, less isolated feeling, you will relax more into your relationship with spirit and grow that. And then spirit will guide you into what's the next phase in your life and where you go next.
Okay.
Thank you. In the meantime, I'm always here to help. If you need a message, I'm always here. I wish you the best of luck, sweetie. You're on a good path.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you, Christy.
Bye-bye.
It's totally normal to feel the way that Christy feels. I mean, we all feel that way, that we've lost our way, that we're not on our path, that we've gotten stuck somehow. We don't know where to go next. We're worried about everything. We're worried about the depression and the anxiety. And these are all normal because this earth is a teaching planet. We're here to learn. And part of learning is lessons. And sometimes lessons are difficult. So you have to remember when you start to feel like that and ask, what is the lesson in this? What am I supposed to learn from this? Where am I supposed to go from here? And it's almost like the Rubik's Cube, right? When you get to the point, it's like real easy in the beginning. Then you get to the point where you're like, I cannot go any farther. And then all of a sudden you make one little move and it opens up 10 more moves. And that's how our life really is too. Just, you don't give up hope. Seek the help that you need, whether it's from a spiritual counselor or a therapist or a workshop. You seek the help that you need and wait till that little puzzle piece comes, and then more things will open up, because you're not alone. We're not meant to be unhappy. Spirit doesn't want any of us to be unhappy. Spirit wants us to be elated and thrilled about everything in our lives. We're supposed to be having the best life ever. And that's in Spirit's ideal life for each of us. We would overcome the challenges in 5 minutes, and we just keep going. Super Mario Brothers, boop, boop, boop. We just keep going through every level, and at the end, we'd save the princess in our lifetime, and we wouldn't even have to ever come back here. Unfortunately, the lessons are hard. We're slow to learn. It takes a while, but know that Spirit always has your back and isn't working against you. Spirit is working for you. Spirit is rooting for you to overcome your obstacles and overcome your challenges and have the best life ever. That's what Spirit wants. All right. Who wants a message from Spirit? Hi.
Hi. So my name is Patricia, and I'm from Farmingdale, New Jersey.
Beautiful. Hi. Tri-State girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Represent.
Born and raised, Jersey born.
Nice.
My question is, well, first of all, yesterday was the 1-year anniversary, for lack of a better term, of my husband's passing.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm sending you so much love.
And the one thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to try and sell one of his cars. Okay. And I know it's not going to upset him, because it was like, okay, it was a fun car, but he was tired of it anyway. It's been in storage for 3 years. And my question is, when and if will it sell? And will I be close to my asking price?
It's going to sell by the end of the summer. So by the
Wonderful.
end of August. And very close to the asking price. And your husband very much supports this decision. He's super happy for you to let go of anything like that, because he doesn't need it and you need the money, and he's so okay with it, sweetie.
Good.
He just wants you to be happy and move on with your life and live your life and not always feel guilty like you need to be hanging on to him. He says that he knows that from a soul perspective, your souls will always be connected. You don't ever have to worry about that. But because he's not here in body and you are here in body, he wants you to have a great life and do wonderful things and not feel guilty about it, and know that he's waiting for you and he will be there when it's your time, which is not now, he's saying. Which is not now. He always says that. Which is not now.
One other thing, let me ask you, is
Please.
2 things happened to me in the last 2 days.
Okay.
I believe with his insistence, I should say, or maybe his just kind of letting me know he's there.
Sure.
And I just want confirmation that he did those 2 things for me.
Okay. Yes, he absolutely did. Yes.
Both of which I needed. So it was nice.
Yes.
They were nice surprises.
He does a lot for you. There is a lot that he does for you.
Yes.
Even more than you know. You're getting help all the time. Sometimes it's just sending you a burst of energy to get you up in the morning, or sending you a burst of happiness so you have a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's sleeping next to you
that.
so you have a good night's sleep. I'm sorry?
I know that. I mean, there are things that I can look back at. And you're talking earlier about intuitives. I don't know if I'm an empath, although I'm very, very sensitive all the time.
You sure are. You're a highly sensitive person.
I do believe that I'm an intuitive, because there are many things that I know are going to happen before they happen. And then I think, oh no, I just willed that. But I do think I'm an intuitive.
No, you don't will things like that. I mean, you can manifest things, absolutely. But I think sometimes we're raised as humans that we're the top of the food chain, and everything that happens on this earth, we made it happen. That's not really
No.
true.
Well, that too comes from the Irish blood, so.
I always say whenever a human being says we're the top of the food chain, a dolphin and an elephant snicker together. You know, it's not, we're not necessarily, and certainly we're this big on the spiritual top of the chain, the tiniest thing in the spiritual chain. So we always think we're responsible for everything, and that can work against us in many ways. Usually when magic things happen, what my good friend of mine calls sky candy, when magic things just seem to come out of nowhere, that's always either a higher power source, God energy, or it's spirits of loved ones, or it's angelics, or it's your spirit guides. It's always something, and they're always looking out for you and loving you and wishing you well, as I wish you well, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
How about that? We had some real conversations with some real people, delivered some real messages from spirit, and hopefully got some folks some real healing. That's what we do here every week. I'm Sheena Metal, and I'm so excited to be doing this new show on the Intuitive Network that I believe so much in what they're doing. And I hope what you took away from today is that spirit loves you. Spirit is always looking out for you, always wanting you to have the best life ever, always has your back. I always get the image in my mind of you walking your path, but you're little. And spirit is very big, and spirit's big hand is in your tiny hand, and you're holding hands and you're walking your path together. Don't ever feel like you're on this road alone, because you're not. Spirit is always there. Spirit's looking out for you, your guides, your angels, your past loved ones, your living loved ones, and of course me. I'm always looking out for you. I'm Sheena Metal, and I'm a psychic medium and an energetic healer. You can find me at sheenametalspiritual.com. I'm everywhere on social media at Sheena Metal. But if you really want to get in touch with me, send me a text message. Yes, I'm the nut that actually gives her phone number out everywhere I go. 818-437-0886. Send me a text message, 818-437-0886. I promise you I get back to everybody. And let me know if you'd like to work with me, or if you'd like to get to know more about me, or if you just need somebody there to reach out to when you feel like there's no one to reach out to. I'm that person, because I'm here and I'm sending you love, and I love you all. And until I see you next Wednesday at 2:00 Pacific time, seek peace, live in love, always lead with kindness, embrace unity with others, unity with all the beings of the universe, unity with your inner self, and always work to raise your vibration, raise up your energetic vibration. And in doing so, you raise up the vibration of the earth and the universe. And most importantly, remember this: you are love, and you are loved, and you're always loved by me. I'm Sheena Metal. It's sheenametalspiritual.com. This is Messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network, every Wednesday at 2:00 Pacific time. And you know what? I'll see you next week.